So a lot of people missed the piece of detail that was crucial when they announced that Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars were both delayed from May to December of their respective years. This was the fact that Disney updated the Marvel slate, including 4 unannounced films and their release dates. So here we're going to talk about what these films are according to all the reports that are out there and what Marvel Studios is saying themselves. So by now, in case you didn't know, Marvel Studios and Disney went out and did announce 4 brand more film release dates that were largely overshadowed by the fact that they delayed Avengers Doomsday to December 18th of 26 and Avengers Secret Wars to December 17th of 27. But there are 4 films in there that obviously stick out because they're untitled Marvel films. And well, we might just know exactly what they're planning to do with these. So with all 4 of these dates out there, what we're going to do here is break down exactly what each film might be. And what I'm going to do is just employ critical thinking and what might go where due to how they're trying to build up the universe and then how we're going to get into the MCU post Avengers Secret Wars. Which means that these 4 dates all fill in a specific need and or time and or their placement on this specific slate in relation to how they all work with one another. So the dates we're talking about are 7/23/27, 2/18 of 28, 5/5 of 28, and 11/10 of 28. So if you're keeping count, that gives us 2 films in 27, one of them being Avengers Secret Wars, and 3 films in 28. So let's get into the breakdown of what all these films are. So first and foremost is the film coming at us on 7/23/27, aka July 23rd of 27. So again, this is later in the summer, and this is about a year after Spider-Man Brand New Day. This also places it some 8 months after Avengers Doomsday. So since the film is coming out right before Avengers Secret Wars releases in December of 27, this film, I think everybody is going to agree, needs to be a multiverse film in some sort of way and fashion. Therefore, I think the only logical solutions are Doctor Strange 3 and or World War Hulk multiverse film, which both of these are rumored to be in development and possibly fighting for this release place. Now, if it was up to me and they were like, what do you think fits this more? To me, it's Doctor Strange 3. That one just seems like a better pick in terms of what it means for the bigger multiverse and everything they're trying to do. But World War Hulk would also fit, as that would also be reportedly a giant multiversal mashup of every Hulk we've seen in live action ever. Which then brings me to the first film after Secret Wars releases later that year. So February 18th of 28. This is a no-brainer, it's Black Panther 3. Again, going to February, where the first film found its huge success, riding off the coattails of Avengers Secret Wars, which comes out only 3 months before it, and it will still be in box office and finally winding down, probably nearing a $3 billion box office total. Black Panther seems like the perfect go-to. You build off hype with these characters in Secret Wars. It is our first look into the MCU post-Secret Wars, and you put us into that prime slot of characters that are familiar, and now it's a perfect time right after people have come down off the high of Secret Wars to go, hey, how about a smaller story set back on our new universe set in the MCU? Automatically, ears will perk up, eyes will shift, and suddenly you got a perfect in, and also, it's a new world. So now Black Panther is at the center of starting the new phase and or being the epilogue to Secret Wars. And it's also perfect as it's a known sort of palate cleanser that releases during Black History Month, which again worked out for the first film, which then brings us into 5/5/28, aka May 5th of 28. And this will be Marvel Studios' X-Men. Now, I do want to state, I don't know this for sure, but this is the one that makes sense. If, for example, as I said, Black Panther 3 is the epilogue to Secret Wars and the MCU, the Mutant Saga begins with X-Men. You release it in May of that year. Why? Because you just had Secret Wars, then you have Black Panther, two surefire hits. Then you're rolling straight into, once Black Panther is leaving theaters, into the new age of the MCU, the uncertainty, the X-Men. It's one of the most well-recognized teams or comic book concepts of all time. By this time, you're far enough removed from everything. You just gave the final hurrah to all the leftover X-Men and mutants. People want to see what the new stuff is about. This is your perfect in. And also, it kicks off the summer blockbuster in style by being a whole new X-Men for a whole new generation. Now, of course, this film also has to do a couple other things. It's got to be a lot more grounded in nature, hence why it sounds like they're going with Sinister. It's got to set the foundation of the new status quo of the MCU that shifts the focus on a brand new team and concept. Unlike Wakanda Forever sequel, Black Panther 3, picking up and being an epilogue to the MCU, this is a whole new corner of the X-Men universe and the Marvel universe. We're seeing the X-Men for the first time here as a real unit and how they're going to reboot them, but also we're picking up into the MCU from a fresh pair of eyes. They will be our gateway into what the new MCU is, how they shaped it up, what they're doing with it, what their goals are, how they aim to move forward with this concept, and establishing a whole new slew of villains, storytelling avenues, and characters. So if they decide to, for some reason, go in the direction that Apocalypse might be maybe like the end goal for the Mutant Saga, you can start to cross-pollinate the mentions of Apocalypse, his disciples, the whole time travel shenanigans all over the MCU to again start laying down the foundation for the guy that will be the villain in 3 or 4 films. So another decade to build up. And we know for a fact that Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige have that 10-year plan in motion that kicks off with X-Men. Hence why I'm saying X-Men is opening in May of 28. It just makes sense. And also, it places it perfectly on the 20th anniversary of the MCU starting with Iron Man. It is literal synergy. We gave you the epilogue with Black Panther. Now we're starting fresh and anew in a rebooted universe that is one. So now that Marvel was riding high, Nova or Blade? So looking at the bigger picture here, November of that year, November 10th of 28 is the final film. This can be a risky film. If Marvel only does 400, 500 million with it, it's not going to matter. X-Men will do 800 to $1 billion. The Black Panther sequel will do the same. They will be coasting off 2.5 to 3 billion from Secret Wars. They can experiment here, and it's a new phase. It's a whole new saga. So here, in my opinion, you either do one of 3 possibilities, I'll actually say. The safe one, Deadpool 4. Ryan Reynolds recently revealed he's working on a new project that seems to be teaming Deadpool up with younger X-Men. So if he's in the MCU, maybe he's putting together X-Force now, and this is a smaller scale MCU film that would perfectly fit this. On top of this, Nova. We keep hearing that they're still trying to figure out a TV series, but they got some pretty big ideas for Nova. He would perfectly fit this as something to bookend the year. And then, of course, there is Blade. What can I say about Blade without getting into a 10-minute rant about Marvel Studios' failure? Outside of, maybe they just need to make this thing happen and show people that they can do it. Releasing it right after Halloween, and even if you only make $300 million at the box office from an $80 million film, you are still winning. because you got a brand new concept that hasn't been seen in decades from Marvel. It's something different and something that's a gamble, but also if it makes 300 million, it's going to turn a profit, especially when it comes to all the margins with action figures and what you're setting up, such as the Midnight Suns. So that, in my opinion, is what's looking the most likely for this slate. So you guys let me know what you think and what do you think could replace any of these if you were to take a guess at what Marvel is going to put out. Thank you for checking out that video, and thank you for your continued support. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, do whatever you will, and if you're so inclined and would like some additional content from us, which includes unfiltered content and bonus discussions, we do offer exclusively in our member section. We hope to see you there. So thank you for watching, and have a good one.